What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today I'm going to try out some Tinkaton in the Open Great League. I haven't really tried out this Pokemon recently, mainly because people, whenever there's a new Pokemon released, it seems like it's the Pokemon that everyone tries to hard counter, and I've seen a lot of things in the meta recently that Tinkaton did not want to see. But the last couple of days, people have been building just a little bit weaker to this Pokemon, so I want to try it out, see how Tinkaton Hammer does in the Open Great League meta. And this team right here is one of, if not just the best Tinkaton team that you can run. I've seen so many for alligators recently. This backline completely dumpsters them, and having access to a lot of different coverage across the board here gives this team so much play. Now, real quick, before we get into the battles, I do want to ask, if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It helps quite a bit, and I'd really appreciate it. But let's get into the battles and see what this team can do. Okay, we got our opponent here. We'll see Tinkaton into Medicham. Okay, I would imagine this is pretty good for Tinkaton, and my backline doesn't really like to see this, so happy that it's here. Although I'm sure Medicham can put in some work. It probably two-shots with Dynamic Punch, so it's not like a hard wall matchup. But I'm sure the longer this goes on, especially, the better it gets for Tinkaton. I'll let this go. I know I survive it. Yeah, in fact, we do survive 2, which is kind of cool to see. They're at 4, so 1 away from the next Dynamic Punch here. Tinkaton Hammer is not super effective, but it is such a strong attack, it basically looks like it is. So we actually get a shield from them. They're probably going to try to catch at some point. Like, almost certainly, right? Let's see what's going to happen here. Big Dynamic Punch. We do shield it up. And we'll go for a CMP, or an attempt at a CMP. Looks like they do overfarm, so that's fine. I am a little bit worried, though, that this Medicham might be able to go for a catch at some point. They had a Dynamic Punch. Why didn't they throw it? Were they thinking I was going to, like, try to catch it on something? I don't even know. But we see a Lowland Sandslash come in. They catch the Tinkaton Hammer on a Furret. Okay, well, this game is pretty over at this point. I mean, honestly, the backline was looking pretty good for us either way. Saying I would have had a Guzzlord for the Furret and a Lapras for the A-Slash, but, like, catching a Tinkaton Hammer on the Furret's a play. I don't know about that one. Tinkaton's actually popping off here. They were not ready. Bulldoze might not knock them out, but it does put them down pretty low. And I don't know if a Swift knocks us out here. A Brick Break definitely does. Swift might not be just quite enough. We'll see. They do Brick Break. Okay. But we just bring in our Lapras here, and that's all we really need. We resist that Shadow Alolan Sandslash's fast move because they're not on Shadow Claw, right? It's Powder Snow. And, I mean, Psywave to the Shadow A-Slash actually does 2 damage instead of just 1. And honestly, even Guzzlord could probably at least land 1 Brutal Swing if we had to. Drill Run doesn't 2-shot us, so that's pretty nice as well. Interesting that we're seeing them stay in this matchup. They must think it is not as bad for them as it is. But this is a pretty bad matchup for the A-Slash. Yeah, we can see here, even like just fast move pressure might be enough to knock him out. We survive this, no reason to shield. And at this point, we Sparkling Aria, and either Sidewave down, or potentially I can swap into Guzzlord if I have to. But honestly, it's probably just going to be a fast move beatdown against them. Dude, Tinkaton popped off this game. Medicham, Furret, A-Slash. I mean, I think A-Slash has some play into Tinkaton, and even Medicham. It was proving that it wasn't, like, unplayable in that matchup, right? But it was, honestly, not quite as good for them as they would have liked, saying I'm a Steel type, and normally fighters beat the Steels. But I guess not when you're a Steel Fairy type, so there we go. Don't even need the Guzzlord. We get the win. All right, we got our next opponent. We'll see Tinkaton up against Togekiss. Okay. Pretty interesting lead matchup. It's not bad necessarily, but it's not like a hard counter for me. Okay, we see a Gastro come in. Maybe I should have come in Lapras here. Honestly, I don't really care either way, though, if I keep switch advantage, because my Lapras and my Tinkaton are both pretty good into that Togekiss. More than anything, I just kind of want to not be at an energy disadvantage into Togekiss later on this game. And they're just going straight Body Slam here as well, which is kind of interesting. They're at 3, so they'll be dry after this Body Slam. And I can go here for a Brutal Swing, maybe even a second one in just a minute. I'm not on Dragon Claw, which might make it so they do win the Zero Shield matchup. It'll be kind of close. Oh, they shield that. I'm actually so fine with that shield, though, because now where does that Togekiss go? Either it gets Ice Beamed or it gets Tinkaton Hammered. And either way, that's a lot of damage against them. All right, well, they're at 5. It could be an Earth Power... Actually, no, it couldn't, because they're on their 6th cycle. So it's only a Body Slam. 2, 3, 4. I think, honestly, I don't love shielding a body slam, but I don't necessarily hate it from this point, especially if I don't take another body slam after this, just to make sure that I have a lot of HP and a lot of energy coming out of this matchup. Okay, nice. We do barely get the farm down there. What's going to come in? I guess it's the Togekiss, hoping that I don't have Ice Beam. But, I mean, I think Ice Beam is the play right now. Not a lot of reason to run Skull Bash. Not a lot of, like, other water types that are really bad for you. Oh, we get the nasty farm down there, too. What's in the back? Okay. Well, it looks like a Lapras sweep. This is gonna just be a full Lapras sweep. We Ice Beam this, we Ice Beam a second time after they shield, and they are in trouble. Okay, I think I like Lapras again. I mean, I didn't hate Lapras before this, but man, it's just popping off. This should be an easy one-shot here. Ice Beam gets the knockout. Let's go. Dude, what a weird game. Okay, I mean, that's why you don't need Switch Advantage, right? Either you get Switch and you get Tinkaton into Togekiss, or you don't get Switch and you get Lapras. That just sweeps the game. All right, we got our next game. Tinkaton into Ludicolo. Wow, wait, this is actually probably a pretty awkward Pokemon for my team, but I bet Tinkaton does better here than it should. So I'm going to stay in and go for a Gigaton Hammer. I bet this does at least, like, half of their HP. I am a little bit worried, though, if there's a Ludicolo here. How much play, realistically, am I going to have with my Guzzlord in the back? Okay. We attempt a Weather Ball catch. Doesn't quite work out, which is scary, because now Leaf Storm would one-shot us if I let it through. So I do shield this up just in hopes that they don't bait. Okay, so they're at 2. Okay. And honestly, baiting out a Tinkaton here is really nice. Because, like, my Guzzlord would be hard-walled by this Pokemon. And while this isn't an amazing matchup, Lapras should be able to survive a Gigaton Hammer from here and still get a second Sparkling, maybe a third Sparkling off. Let's see what they want to do. Because they're at 8, I believe, so they're at 1 past the Gigaton Hammer. So they can bulldoze us if they want to snipe us down before my third move is reached. Yeah, we do survive that, but it does do quite a bit. And now we'll go for the Sparkling. They're not quite in a range here where this knocks out, but they are in a range where if they let it go, it's a much easier Pokemon to deal with for our backline. Did you let it go? And they throw energy. Alright. I can't really double shield from this point, but at least this is basically Brutal Swing range. Which is kind of cool, I suppose. Oh. Oh! Lapras, holy crap. Wait a second. I did not think I'd survive that for some reason. But I guess here we are surviving. We get the Sparkling Aria. Okay. I mean, we win Switch. Ludicolo is now walled by Guzzlord. With that said, maybe they don't care about Switch this game. But, like, Guzzlord is one of the best counters that I could really have here. With that said, Shadow Celio is a little bit scary. I don't love that this thing has an energy lead into us. I think I'm going to shield the first, because it's almost a guaranteed Surf. Yeah, okay. And now we can Bulldoze. At least this thing only has Body Slams it can throw into my Guzzlord, likely. We'll see, though. We get a shield with the Bulldoze bait. No debuff, though. Okay. I might survive this move. Realistically, I need a shield here, I think. And then I should be in a good spot. I don't know how much HP I have there. Do I survive to get another move off with my Tinkaton? I honestly have no idea if I would. Bulldoze? No, definitely not. Do I get a debuff this time? I do. Okay. Okay, they clear their debuff, which is a smart play. With that said, this is only a Weather Ball. I think what I need to do is I probably need to go for a full farm down here and have 2 moves ready. Oh, it's a Leaf Storm. Ow. Okay, that hurts. Is that Ludicolo, or rather, is the Celio at a move? I'm at back-to-back Sludge Bombs, so if they're out of move on the Celio, they can CMP us. But if not, then I get 2 moves off here. Dragon Claw might have been enough damage. Maybe I should be running Dragon Claw Guzzlord. Was that a CMP? It was. Oh, man. I think I just get Powder Snow down now. That's unfortunate. There's probably a way I could have won this game. Because, like, man, I have so much energy that's getting wasted there. Yeah, honestly, so close, but not getting the catch on my Lapras kind of cost us the game. All right, next game. Hopefully we see a little bit of a better matchup here. Tinkaton into, I'd say that's a better matchup, into Guzzlord. All right. Well, no matter their moveset, we're going to be able to wall them pretty well. And we see a Shadow Ember Charizard in the back. They just instantly go for what I would have to imagine is an Air Cutter. I think that was only 4 Embers. It can't really be anything else. Do they get a boost? No boost. Okay, that's huge. Not getting a boost there now means that they're not going to be able to knock us out with a Blast Burn, potentially, or even their next Air Cutter. Let's go for this move. I'd love to get his shield, because I'm actually pretty good into Guzzlord with my team. I have an Ice-type plus a Tinkaton. And we actually do get his shield, which is kind of interesting. I'll let this go. I don't think it's worth a shield at this point. They probably do Blast Burn. Oh, they don't. Okay. I don't really mind if they boost now, but they don't. So that's really good. I think almost certainly at some point they're going to try to catch a move from this Guzzlord on their own Guzzlord, which is a good play on their part, if they happen to do it. Although, like, how good of a play actually is that? Because then my Tinkaton gets locked into it, and this Charizard is just going to be... I mean, even at this point, a Gigaton Hammer easily knocks him out. They don't even go for the catch, so we just straight up win Switch and Shield advantage here. Which means at this point, Tinkaton is still going to stay against that Guzzlord. It doesn't matter, they get a Dragon Tail or two. And then I have a Shield advantage... Tinkaton and Lapras against whatever is in the back line. I'm going to be honest, I don't see many things that could really beat us at this point. Although, you know, that is actually, like, kind of one of them. Is it? We'll see. Like, that is actually a little bit annoying, not going to lie. But I think we're still fine. 8. Okay. I'm going to just shield this up, though. If they surf us, that's fine. I still get to 2 Bulldozers before they get their next move off. Yeah. I mean, at this point, we just get back-to-back Bulldozers. We should win CMP against Lantern, I believe. And then it's just Tinkaton against the world here, right? I mean, we don't even need that debuff. Okay, you know, Lantern tried to prove me wrong when I said there's nothing we could lose to in the back line. That was like... I mean, honestly, we were in a really good spot, even still, but probably one of the worst things we could have possibly seen. Is the game... Okay, I think they might have quit. I was kind of worried the game was lagging out there, but I think they might have just closed their app. They're not happy about this one. And they should be a little bit unhappy about it, saying they got pretty hard RPS'd. Lapras was actually a little bit of a tricky Pokemon to slot against their team, though. Like, Lapras is not amazing into Ember Charizard. It's really not amazing either into Guzzlord, just because you don't one-shot with an Ice Beam. And it's really not good into Spark Lantern. But we get the Gigaton Hammer here, and eventually it'll go through. I apologize for my opponent making this game take longer than it should, but they've, they have, in fact, left the app. Down goes the Guzzlord, and eventually we got the win. Next opponent. We'll see Tinkaton into... Dilly. Oh my goodness. Well, that's a pretty good lead. I would love it if they stayed in and I could just Gigaton Hammer them. I would imagine that basically one-shots them, but they do switch out, unfortunately. I'm actually going to go for a Bulldoze Chip and Dip here. Might be a strange play, but I really don't have a hard answer to this Empoleon. And if I can put this into a range where a single Brutal Swing's enough to knock out, then I'm in a really good spot. 8, 9... Alright. At this point, I think I just no-shield. Do I double no-shield? I don't know. I could try to do that. Because how much do I really need Switch against Dilly? I don't think I need it that badly. Like, I wouldn't mind it at all, but I don't think I need it. They're at 10, so they're dry after this. Alright. Let's see if they shield this up. I'd be so surprised if they did, but, like, if they wanted to, they could try to brute force Switch advantage this game. But they don't. They do let that go. And Dilly probably gets a couple of acids, but I get a move off against them. Let's see what they come in with, though. Maybe they come in with, like, a fairy type or something crazy. Okay, I don't really know if I get that Sludge Bomb there, so I'm just going to go for the Brutal Swing. Just play it safe and get any sort of chip damage that I can. They're at 3. Yeah, I do get knocked out by that acid, so it's a good thing I didn't go for the bigger move. And just to make sure that I don't end up, like, getting locked in for a second with a bad matchup, I will wait down my switch clock here, saying I did chip and dip earlier. Okay. Okay. I mean, Lapras is one of the best answers to Feraligatr in the game just neutrally. I don't think I could have really asked for a much better game there. That was insane. Next game. Hopefully we get a game that's, like, less RPS than we've been getting. Like, I like RPS in my favor, but I wouldn't mind more legitimate showcases of what this team can do. And luckily, Galarian Corsola is a very neutral Pokemon to see, so I'll get to see, like, how much a Gigaton Hammer does against a Pokemon that is supposedly known for its bulk. Do I two-shot here? Or do they survive this? That's the big question. Big Gigaton Hammer. Oh my goodness, dude, what is that damage? That's crazy. We don't get a catch, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I think that's fine. I'm going to just take this Power Gem, and then I can build up a lot more energy here. Yeah, I mean, it's super effective, but it's from a Corsola. It doesn't do all that much damage. And we bait out a Guzzlord, which isn't, like, necessarily a great bait out for us, but it's also not bad, saying I do have a Tinkaton that can just farm this all the way down. And then I have my own Guzzlord that can wall the Tinkaton, or the Corsola's energy, that is. They do let that go. Honestly, maybe should have gone for, like, an undercharge there, just to give my Tinkaton a little bit more energy out of this matchup. They could try to, like, intentionally lose this matchup, too. Well, they don't. I was thinking, like, if they did try to intentionally lose it, that would make some sense. Saying, it's not like they want to give my Tinkaton extra energy. I guess they were trying to go for a Sludge Bomb? I don't know. Oh, so they forgot about Guzzlord, which is weird, because they had a Guzzlord on their team. But I just, like, I sweep with my Dragon. That's awesome. Okay. I mean, I'm very fine with that. And we can force them into a really awkward position where, like, when are they going to be allowed to throw energy here? They have to throw on alignment if they want to get it off before my next move. And at this point, they're at 100 energy, so they have to throw an alignment, or else they waste a full Incinerate of energy. Yeah, this is looking pretty good for us. I'm not going to lie. This game is pretty over for them. Yeah, okay. I'm glad they didn't have, like, their own Tinkaton in the back line. Instead, it was just Guzzlord food. Next game. We will see Tinkaton into Togekiss. Okay. I do like this lead, but I don't like how precarious it can be at times, so we'll see what they want to do. They can try to stay in this for a second, go for Aura Sears here, and try to maybe waste some of my energy, because if they do get a catch-off, then I'm in a pretty bad spot. Alright, you guys might not have seen it there, but I did, in fact, throw the Bulldoze. You might be thinking that's a stupid idea, and, like, even I'm thinking that as well. But here's the thing, who realistically wants to get one shot on their Togekiss? Because if this is a Gigaton Hammer, they get nothing out of their Togekiss this game. See, it's not a bad play. It was actually the best play I could have gone for. Who do they catch on? Ufisk. Okay. You know, that's actually a good catch on their part. Not gonna lie, I do respect that catch. Although Gigaton still does a sizable amount of damage, but it's definitely inefficient that I let that happen. Okay. We'll just build up back to a Bulldoze so I can Bulldoze the Togekiss later on this game. And I have Sludge Bomb here for a reason, right? It gives me a little bit more coverage into the Fairy-type Pokemon. A little bit worse neutrally against other dragons, but Sludge Bomb is, I think, a pretty good play. And we'll see what they want to do. Now, unfortunately for me, I will have to go for 2 attacks against this Ufisk to knock him out, which I don't necessarily love, but I mean, I'm willing to do that. Dude, why are they doing this to me? They're just, like, styling on me for no reason. Imagine if I Sludge Bombed there. Just imagine. Okay, I guess. They let me throw, or they give me a full sneak, which is kind of crazy. Alright, and now we Sludge Bomb. I wish I had a Pokemon that I could come into here that wouldn't have to instantly shield against this Pokemon, but I don't. Alright. I mean, I have to shield this, right? I think there's really no way around it. Let's knock this out. I hate that I have to throw a Gigaton Hammer here to knock him out, but it's the play, right? I can't Bulldoze. It doesn't do that much damage. Yeah, down goes the Togekiss. And maybe they don't know quite where my energy's at this game. There is a good chance here that I can get a Bulldoze off against something, maybe even a Gigaton Hammer, depending on what they bring in. They bring in a Furret, which honestly could be kind of scary. If they didn't realize that I was only 5 away from a Gigaton Hammer. Okay, that's good. That is 90% of a Furret taken down. And now they have to throw energy or catch. Oh my goodness. Well, that's huge. That is crazy how well this is going then. They Swift us. What do I want to do here? I could come in Guzzlord. Honestly, Guzzlord might be the play. I think it is. They just don't have the counts this game. I feel a little bit bad for them because they made some really nice catches on us, but they didn't have quite the right energy on both my Guzzlord and my Tinkaton. So at this point, Like, even if I don't end up getting this move off, which I probably won't, then my Lapras, it survives 2 discharges, even if they somehow get to that. And then I get a Sparkling Aria off, and I should win the game. Like, honestly, they played pretty well here. They got, like, 2 huge catches. A Brutal Swing catch on the Togekiss, and a Gigaton Hammer catch on the Ufisk, both of which I'm honestly pretty impressed with. But unfortunately for them, I did have a pretty good team comp against them. Or at least good enough that it didn't really matter, as long as I was able to play precisely enough to have enough energy to make it annoying. Let's go. All right, next opponent. We'll see Tinkaton into Diggersby. Okay, don't love this lead matchup, but I do think I have ways to play around this. I know that Gigaton Hammer is basically a 2-shot here, and I'm just going to safe swap my Lapras and see if they have an answer for us. I don't have a great way to deal with this here with my Lapras, unfortunately. No Skull Bash, right? But they don't know that. Not necessarily, at least. Big fan of a Rockwanid, by the way. At least I was in the past. I don't know if it's that good in this meta, but I do respect a Rockwanid. I think it's a really cool pick. And I know that there is a Shadow of Rockwanid coming out pretty soon, which I'm excited for. I think Shadow of Rockwanid could be pretty cool. Honestly, man, these Psywaves and Sparkling Arias are adding up quite a bit against them. If they don't have Bug Buzz, I might actually be able to flip this matchup. Back in the day, I actually remember this matchup. If you Bubble Beam, you make it so Psywaves only do 1 damage instead of 2. Oh, they do have Bug Buzz. Okay. Fair, I guess. They can build some energy there if they want, but now I have a lot of energy on my Lapras. I have a lot of energy on my Tinkaton, and I can maybe dance around this a little bit. I think that's going to be the play. Surely it's not like double Bug Bite or something. I mean, they have to have like an alt answer, like a flyer answer just in general somewhere on their team, right? I would imagine. I would hope they do. I guess we'll find out. Scorching Sands is going to get our shield, hopefully no debuff. Nice. And, I mean, I'm willing to double shield this. I think I kind of have to, honestly. Big Scorching Sands. We shield that up. We go for the Gigaton Hammer immediately, because I just kind of want this thing out of here. And if they shield this, that's good. If they no shield, honestly, that's also pretty good. Okay. And they do let us swap out and go for the combo play. They could shield this and try to go for a farm down. Or they could let it go. They do shield, okay. Whoa. I wasn't expecting that play, but I'm actually so happy they just did that. Because Tinkaton against Bug Buzz or Rockwanid should be a pretty hard wall, right? I should be able to go for a farm down here. They likely go for, like, annoying Bubble Beam shenanigans, but that doesn't do that much damage. And the Bug Bites don't do much to us either. They're on double nukes! Whoa, okay. I wasn't really expecting that. Man, double nuke actually does put a little bit of a wrench in the plan. I can't believe they're on Water Pulse Bug Buzz. I guess who needs Bubble Beam? That's kind of cool, I guess. Not for me, but, like, in general, kind of cool. We catch maybe a Fire Punch here, and Tinkaton has a decent amount of energy still left over on it. Nice, that is a Fire Punch. That's a lot of wasted energy. Hopefully not a second Bug Bite user. Ugh, man. Why does it have to be this? Like, literally, why? That is one of the worst things my Guzzlord could see. Maybe my Tinkaton can still have some play this game, though? I don't know. Tinkaton has so much work to do. I think I have to Gigaton Hammer this, unfortunately. Yeah, I think they have us here. I know Tinkaton resists everything Wigglytuff has, but I'm in the red already. What a team. Yeah. Like, I need to be able to double Gigaton Hammer, unfortunately. I don't think there is much play that game, aside from what I tried to do there. That is unfortunate. Alright, next game. Let's hope that we have a slightly less RPS game this time. Shadow Annihilate. Okay. You'd think this would be a good answer to Annihilate, saying I have Fairy Wind, but if they're on counter, which I assume they are, I bet this is really bad. Or at least, like, okay, not bad, but I bet this is really awkward. I'm just going to go for a Bulldoze. I need damage against this, guaranteed. So we'll go for the Bulldoze. We'll see what they want to do. They likely do let it go, saying they know it's just a Bulldoze. And, like, I know this is just a Rage Fist, so I can let this move through. I can try my best at this point to just win the zeros and set up my 2 Pokemon in the backline weak to counter. I wish I got a defense drop on that first move. Nice catch. What was that on? Licky Licky. Okay. I think I'm fine with that. I can just build up some energy here. and then come in with my Guzzlord. Like, I guess I don't need to build up energy that much, but, I mean, I might as well, because this actually gives me a chance at getting another Bulldoze off this game. Plus, I also got a defense drop there, which is pretty nice. And their Annihilate, sure, it's not great for my Guzzlord or my Lapras to see, but if I have energy, then it's really not that big of a problem. Okay, good. No, like, Earthquake or Hyper Beam. I've seen a lot of crazy licky movesets recently, so it's always hard to, like, know exactly what you're fighting against. But this one appears to just be Body Slam Shadow Ball, likely. Keep in mind, their defense has been dropped here, so I think a Sludge Bomb is enough to knock them out. Did they just catch? They actually just caught on their Annihilate. You know what? The fair play to them on that. That's, I guess, a decent play, but, I mean, I still just knock out a really annoying Pokemon there. And an Ampharos, Shadow Ampharos comes in. Dude, what is happening? What is this team? I'm so close to a Bulldoze, though. I think I'm still fine. I just need a little bit of fast move pressure here. Yeah, I should be fine. I bet they go for a Trailblaze. And I don't know if a boosted Volt Switch knocks me out from here. I don't think it does. So I'm going to risk the Dragon Tail. Nice. Okay, we should be fine now. We should win this game. Let's see what they do. They do shield. I have another one ready to go. I didn't see a sneak. Did they stop tapping or something? Or I don't even know. But okay. Dude, why is this player, like, so good? Why are they so good? I think this is still very fine, but, like, they're reading everything I'm going to do this game. Can they roll out us down? They actually can. Okay, you know. They are playing their hearts out this game, and that is very commendable. I think the problem is that Ampharos is too low to really do much. I can survive 2 Shadow Balls here no matter what. And then I just get the full Psywave down. And either I Psywave down the Ampharos or I reach a Sparkling Aria. And I still have a Dragon Tail I can reach in the backline too, so I think we're fine. But they are trying, and I honestly respect it. I do. Yeah, okay. What a crazy team. I'm glad I didn't get completely swept by it. Next opponent. We'll see Tinkaton into Jelly. I was kind of worried about this lead, not gonna lie. But I think it is playable. What I'm going to try to do is maybe go for a Gigaton Hammer and go for a catch at some point. But, like, a catch could be risky because, they actually throw in 4. Well, it's hard to catch when they throw in bad timing. I think that's fine, though. I get a Fairy Wind Sneak, and I mean, I can catch the next move, too, if I have to. 3. Alright, so one more Hex in there at a charge attack, like a Shadow Ball or a Surf. But what do they have in the back line? Interesting. They let me get a Gigaton Hammer through him. I mean, I'll take it. I think they're really expecting me to catch, and, like, I was going to catch, but they're freaking me out. So, we'll go for that. Did I give him a sneak? These animations are so bad, it's hard to say. But this is good news. I've got this Jellicent chip down quite a bit, into a range where now even Lapras could deal with it if it has to. And I have my Guzzlord that can hopefully absorb this damage. Or if they swap out, then Guzzlord likely avoids like a... Dude, you've got to be joking me. Okay, well that's really bad. That is not great at all. Togekiss is actually a little bit of a core breaker here. It's good into both of my Pokemon because it has that fighting type coverage. But maybe this is still fine. I'm going to Sludge Bomb this. Just to try to get something out of my Guzzlord here. I don't think it's a terrible play. There's a good chance it's the second fairy in the back. Okay? I guess I just shield and farm down. And then Lapras is going to have to put in a lot of work against that Jellicent, and hope that the final Pokemon, whatever it might be, is not terrible for us. We shield the Orisphere, good shield. And we do get quite a bit of energy getting that farm down, so maybe we can outpace them to 2 moves before they get a Shadow Ball, 2 Shadow Balls rather, off against us. Shield this up for sure. See what they do. Shadow Ball would hurt, so I definitely don't want to take that. I think I have to Ice Beam from this range to knock out, which I don't love saying it is extra energy, but we'll go for it, and we'll see what's in the backline. I think like a Wigglytuff makes a lot of sense here, unfortunately. Not a Wigglytuff, but a Tinkaton. So that also makes a lot of sense. I was thinking it'd have to be something good against Guzzlord, or like maybe they were just like, crazy, and they swapped out of that lead. But I'm in Gigaton range, and unfortunately for me, my Guzzlord's so useless against this. I think we made the right calls that game. I just don't know if there's ever really a chance. All right, Tinkaton into Tinkaton. Kind of where I want to see it, I guess. But honestly, I do kind of hate this mirror match as well. So we'll see how it plays out. Because it's like you need a Bulldoze debuff into a Gigaton Hammer to knock out. Or just 2 Gigatons in the zeros. They caught. What did they catch on? I don't think a Lapras really wants to take a Gigaton Hammer. Okay. I'm fine with that. This is going to do over half their HP. And I can just build back up some energy. And come in my own Lapras and likely wall them off. Unless they are, for some reason, on the other moveset. But we actually do catch the Sparkling on our own Lapras. So even if they are on Skull Bash, they're not going to be able to throw it. Big Sparkling doesn't do that much. And if they build up enough where maybe they could go for a Skull Bash, I will throw energy against them. But no, that's only a Sparkling. I can easily let this go. And then I think at this point, what I'm going to do is just build up energy in case that Tinkaton does come back in. Because the Sparkling Aria is going to put them into a range where I can knock them out with a Gigaton Hammer. All right, let's throw it now. We're in a range where Bulldoze is not enough to knock us out. They have to always go for a Gigaton Hammer against us with that Tinkaton. And we'll see if they want to go for that or if they're going to just go for... Oh. They come in with their Guzzlord. This is weird. Wait. Okay. I don't love this. But I don't hate it either. Like, dude, what am I supposed to do this game, actually? Hold on. Okay, I guess we catch a move on our Tinkaton? I don't know. It's just, I have nowhere for... It's literally the mirror team. I have nowhere for my Guzzlord to go. Guzzlord's useless. That's not great. Okay, I'm going to shield this up. I think it's a Gigaton Hammer. I don't think they ever bait us here. And, like, at this point, I'm just going to go straight Bulldoze, I think. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Ah, man. Why do they have the mirror team? That's actually such an annoying team to run. They shouldn't be running this. We do get a shield. Okay, that's good. No debuff, though. Where are my debuffs, man? I hate that so much. If I were a luckier player, I'd be so good at this game. They should be at a Gigaton Hammer now. We get another shield. And they wait a turn. Okay. If I survive this Gigaton Hammer and I get a Bulldoze off, then we can still win this game. I do not survive the Gigaton Hammer. Almost certainly going to be a loss then, right? Maybe? Kind of? I don't know. I think they have us here, unfortunately, but we'll try. As long as we don't get Fairy Winded down, we can at least force him to throw energy here. Okay, we actually save energy there. Hold on. I think we might be fine. We take a move. I think it's only a Brutal Swing? I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. Yeah, we do survive that, at least. If they Gigaton Hammer us, sure, we get knocked out, but I have the Sparkling Aria. They do Gigaton, but they can't be at back-to-back moves if they throw that. We just have the Sparkling loaded. Oh my goodness. We actually beat the mirror match. That is a really annoying mirror to try to play out. I'm so glad we were able to beat that. But GG's to them. That was fun. 4-1 set here. Okay. Very good set, I'd say. Although there were a couple games that were kind of like dicier than they should have been there. 28-73. Pretty good climb. Tinkaton is so strong here in the Open Great League meta. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect from it, saying Steel is not the best offensive type in the game, but just how efficient this attack is, and how bulky Tinkaton can be, as well as the pairing of Lapras and Guzzlord in the backline. This team's a lot of fun. Give it a go if you have it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.